Hello everybody, welcome to another Conan Exiles custom map tutorial number 29. So we're going to go ahead and get into this next tutorial, and it's going to be covering lore books. So you know the books in game where you can go up and pick it up and it kind of gives you a little bit of a story, or it can also play a voiceover. We're going to go ahead and we're going to kind of set one of those up. That way you know how to do that, so you can kind of tell stories throughout your map. Okay, so if you want to do like quest, or kind of create some sort of quest system or lore system to kind of tell a story about your world or the area that your players are going to be in, you'll be able to do that. So let's go ahead and let's get kicking into that, and let me change over here and we'll go ahead and get my display up. All right, here we go. All right, so right here we got one of our lore books, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between two versions of the editor, so that way I can remember and make sure I tell you guys how to do this correctly, and you know, help you out here. So let's go ahead and start. All right, I'm going to go to my branch and aisles, and the first thing we need to do is we need to create a item data table. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring up my content browser. Now I kind of created one here already, but I'm just going to go ahead and quickly do this again. I can't remember if I did it on one of the other tutorials, but just in case I didn't, let's just kind of rehash this out. So if you go to miscellaneous here, right click miscellaneous, and you're going to go up to data table, and what you're going to do is you're going to look for an item table. Okay, so you're going to look for your item table row, I believe it is, and let me double check that. So we're going to hit OK, and let me open this up. Yes, okay, so that's exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to do an item table row, and you go ahead and name it to whatever you need to name it. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and close that one. Now this is what it should look like when it's empty. All right, it should be all set up empty like this. Now to create a lore book, what we need to do is we also are going to need to have the lore content. Okay, so let me bring up this, and I'm going to bring up my Empire Stygia map real quick here, and I got to double check myself, make sure I'm telling you guys correct. So you're going to create a lore objects table, which is going to contain the number of the lore item. So like I got the story here, shipwreck number 1. Okay, so you got to create your own kind of custom number here. All right, a row number. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back to branch and aisles again, and I'm going to go ahead and let me open up my map too while we're at it, and kind of get this started as well. So let me see, maps, branch and aisles. All right, let's go ahead and open that up, and I'm just going to pick a spot on the island to start this lore book. So we'll go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to get the data tables and all that set up first, and then we'll set up the lore book where it's actually visible in game. Okay, so we'll go ahead and load that up right now. And what this will do, I mean, like I said, it can help you with your stories and things like that, and you know, kind of tell the story or create stories around characters that you might want to put in. You'll be able to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up 1 0 and 1 1. And another thing you can do with this too, another thing I should tell you to do is you can create a sub-level. Okay, and what this will help you do, all right, because you know, once you start getting a lot of sub-levels and a lot of items placed on your map, and say you start having issues, okay, you can't find certain things, so a good idea is to go ahead and create a sub-level and call it like your quest level, your lore level. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and do this real quick too to show you. So we're just going to go new level, just in case you forgot, kind of refresh your mind. I'm not going to save these. All right, so I'm going to create an empty level, file, let me see, file, save as, save current as, and I'm going to go to my mods folder, and we're going to go to our map folder where we've got all of our maps at. Okay, and I need to find my maps, height maps. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and call this gameplay and gameplay underscore, and I'm going to go x1 underscore y1. Okay, so gameplay x1 y1, hit save. And what I'm also going to do too after this, I'm going to go ahead and create one as 1.0 as well. So we want to go ahead and do that too. Because what you can do technically, I mean, you can make all your different lore levels, you know, depending on your map. If you want to do, you know, all your sub levels at one time, you can. I'm just going to go ahead and do the other one, just to get ahead of myself, just in case, you know, later in the series we have to do this, and you know, we're ahead of the game, so to speak. And of course, sometimes the dev kit obviously takes a little bit to do this part. I don't know why. You know, saving an empty map, it's just really weird. So I'm going to go ahead and save this again, save current as, and then I'm just going to go 0, 0, 1, and I also should do 1, 0. So, and one more, just so you guys, you know, are able to do this and you have an understanding of what to do. Okay. All right, we're good there. So I'm going to go to my content folder. Let's go ahead and open up our island again. Get this started. And I should have prefaced this tutorial might be an hour, so we'll see. Okay, save new data table. No, I don't want to save that data table. I don't want to save that one because I already got one. Okay, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get our island. Open up Windows, levels, 1, 0, and 1, 1. Okay, and quickly what we got to do to assign our sub level, I know I created them. I just got to figure out why. There they are. Okay, good. So 1, 1, and 1, 0. So I'm going to go open up gameplay 1, 0, and then I'm going to drag it and attach it to 1, 0. And then I'm going to open up 1, 1, and I'm going to open up gameplay 1, 1 here in a second and attach that to 1, 1 as well, like so. And let me do 0, 1, 2. So my height map 0, 1. I'm just going to go ahead and attach it there. Oops, open it first, then attach it. So you can just drag and attach it, drag and drop. Okay, and then you just save them. That way they save to their assigned areas. Okay, and then 1, 0. Let me open that up. And okay, excellent. All right, I got that one picked. That's what I want, and I want gameplay 1, 0 opened up. All right, so it's blue. All right, good. Okay, and I'm going to start over here for when we go to put our book down. But let's go ahead and get our data tables working out. Okay, so we got our content browser, we got our data tables, and we created our item table. Now what we need to do is we need to create a lore table. So what I'm going to do is delete this really quickly, because I don't need that because I already got one. So it's my item table. And what we're going to do is we're going to go data table. We're going to highlight the filter up here to data table. We're going to go to content and we're going to type item table or item data table. We're going to look for the Conan default item table. Here we go, the item table, the default. And what we're going to do too is we're going to look for one of the lore entries. Okay, so let's go ahead here and let's look for lore. I believe, yeah, Rasmus journal. Okay, so what you can do is you can take a pre-existing journal entry, okay, in the game as a way to, because it's all kind of set up. So you got your scrawled note, you have your game night, all this stuff here is filled out to what we need. So I'm just going to take Rasmus journal. I'm going to copy the row. I'm going to go back to my Barach and Isles data table row. So on my table, so go ahead and open up your table. So from the Conan table, let's use Rasmus journal number 1. That's 30006, so 3006. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit paste rows. All right, Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all this entry out of this because I don't need Rasmus entry. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm also going to change the row number. Okay, and because it's a custom item, what we can do is just double check the item table in Conan, go all the way to the bottom, and you're up to like 95,915, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and kind of create my own number system that will hopefully not interfere with the Conan table. So I put an additional number. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this row. I'm just going to do, I do my birthday year, you know, and then I'm going to do like 00001. Okay. So sorry, let me see, make sure I got that. So I got 4 numbers, so, you know, or 8 numbers, sorry. So 8 number value, 1974 0001. Okay. So that's going to be my start of my item table. Okay, so whatever you decide to do for your item table, your starting number, that's up to you. I just go ahead and I do something like that for myself personally. And I'm going to go ahead and then file and save this. Okay, now I'm going to call this journal entry the island. Okay, you can do a short description. I just usually take and copy the title. Okay, the long description is can be a giant hoopla of stuff there. Okay, so long description, say I am stuck on this island. All right, that's what I'm gonna go for that for now. Okay. All right, so we got that data entry created, so we got an item table. All right, so now what we need to do, go to our content folder, let's go back to our mod folder, and let's go to our data table folder, right click in here, go to miscellaneous again, we're going to go to a data table, and down here we're going to type lore, L-O-R-E, we're going to do lore info. I believe it's a lore info table, and I got to double check that, make sure. Item 1, description 1, I believe that is our lore table. Okay, and that looks like it. So let's go ahead and go back to our item table, or no, sorry, our content folder, and let's type lore, and let's go under content so we can find the lore objects table, the Conan objects table. Okay, and we're going to look for Rasmus journal entry, so you can see that Rasmus journal entry is right here. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and reuse this and just hit copy rows. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go back to our table, our lore object table, which is this one. I'm going to go ahead and file, save as, and I'm going to call this Barachan Isles because that's where we're at. I-S-L-E-S, Isles. Barachan Isles, lore table. Or lore, yeah, let's just say lore table. Okay. Okay. All right, I saved that. And what I'm going to do now on my Barachan Isles lore table is I'm going to right click, or actually I'm going to add a row, sorry. So let's go ahead and add a row first. So we hit the plus sign over here on the left-hand side. Let's add our row, and we're just going to right click, and then we're going to paste rows. Now this is Rasmus journal, but we're not going to call that a Rasmus journal. I'm just going to go ahead and keep part of it the journal entry 1, and what I'm going to do is call it the island journal number 1. Okay, now the journal paper is already filled out because we copy paste it, so that's great, so I don't have to go searching for that. And we got a journey lore type. So now this is where you can put journey lore types and stuff. I really haven't played with any of that, but you got to make sure that this is an is game item is checked. Now this is where here on sound, this is where you can assign a sound cue. So I'm just gonna go ahead to the sound cue real quick and play it for you.
When my father died, I knew they would be coming for me. It was only a matter of time. What I didn't expect was this. To be crucified and left to rot on the edge of a wasteland that I have never seen before.
Okay, so right there, this is where you can assign your journal entry, okay, a cue, a sound cue, and it will play when the player picks it up. Now, to get the text that plays, what we need to have is this wave table. So on the sound wave table as well, so if you want to have the subtitles and the sound play, you want to make sure you go to the actual wave. So you're going to have a wave, and then you're going to create a cue file from the wave. You'll right click on the wave sound file when you import it into the game, and you're going to create that. So, well, I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and create one for the item journal. So I'm using what is called 11 Labs. And let me pull that up real quick. So I'm sorry, let me go ahead and get that going. Let me find my 11 Labs link. And I signed up for this place, and it's text-to-speech. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and I think I did this so I'm good, so I can delete all this. Okay. So now this is text-to-speech. So you can actually type text, and it will actually convert it to a sound file for you, okay? And now it's going to convert to MP3, okay, 11 Labs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type the island, all right? And then I'm going to do one of these little things here, and this is a pretty cool program. I'm going to do 2 spaces and say, I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and look for the idol of, let's see, let's make up something good. The idol, let's see, I need to venture out and look for the idol of the tribe of, and well, let's do this. Let's see. I need to venture out and look for an idol of the tribe. I don't know, of Pictish tribal leaders. Let's see. I need to venture out and look for the idol of the tribe. No, let's do something different. I need to venture out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god. Okay, now it's gonna do our spell check real quick, and we'll check our spelling, make sure everything's good. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is generate the speech, but I got credits, so that's why I can do this. So,
the island. I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Worship the monkey god. Oops, worship the monkey god. So make sure your spelling's good, but obviously, worship apparently is a word.
The island. I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Oh, monkey god, come on. Oh, no, it's not. It's supposed to be a good spell checker. I don't know why it's doing that to me. I'm wasting credits, but it's okay.
The island. I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Okay, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and we'll download that from 11 Labs. Okay, and I'm going to quickly go in and I'm going to go to my desktop here. Let me see, and I need to minimize this, and I need to open up my Xmedia, which is going to convert it to a WAV file because it's an MP3. So Xmedia Recode is a very good program. You can look for it in Google. Not yet. I don't want to download the new version yet. So we're going to open that up. All right, and I am going to go ahead and I'm going to drag this in. Hopefully I can just drag it in here. Yep, so I drag it over. I'm going to add it to the queue, and I'm already set up. I got it set for WAV format. So I'm going to go ahead and encode it. Okay. And let me see. I'm going to browse and open to it. No, I'm going to find that. Yep, let me make sure it's there. Okay, it's on my desktop. Excellent. Okay, so it's on my desktop. And then I'm going to go to my Branch and Isles folder. I'm going to go to Content folder. Okay, let's go back to our mod folder. Okay, So we got our mod folder. And I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. Sound, I'm going to call it, right? And then I'm going to open up sound because I don't believe I have a sound folder created, so we're good. I'm going to open up that, and I'm going to go a new folder here, and I'm going to go voice, okay? And I'm going to open that. I'm going to right click. I'm going to import. Okay, now if you create your own custom sound effects, you got to make sure that they're 16-bit sound wave files. Okay, that's what Unreal Engine uses. Okay, I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to search down here, and there it is, 11 Labs. I'm going to go ahead and open it. Now I'm going to hit play.
The island. I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Okay, so we did that. Now what we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and rename this, and I'm going to rename it quickly. I'm going to rename this lore book 1, or actually I should say journal book 1. So that way I know what it is, you know what it is, right? So that way you can figure this out. All right, journal book 1. Okay, I'm also going to right click on it. And this is where I said we're going to create a sound cue. So we're going to right click on it and go create cue. So it's going to duplicate your name entry, but it's going to give you like this little speaker
The
entry.
island. I am trapped on this island.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit save all real quick, so that way we save everything that we've done so far, so we don't lose anything. Now, on Rasmus Journal, so we'll go back to Rasmus Journal real quick. Now, what you have to do, like I said, is you want to make sure that you have the text assigned to that wave table, right? So right here, this is where you're going to, how you set it up to where you get your text, okay? So right here we got manual word wrap, we got single line, all right? And this gets really complicated. That's why I say, so if you can just play the sound file, or you can actually do the text. I'm going to quickly show you how to do the text. That way, you know, if you decide you want to do the subtitle text, you can do that, okay? So what we need to do is make sure that we're all set up here. So I'm going to open up my book, all right, my entry. So we're going to do manual word wrap. We're going to do single line, spoken text, okay? But we're going to do the subtitles right here, okay? Now, I think I only need 3 subtitles or whatever. And I'm going to bring up my text here because this is what I put here. So I am trapped on this island, okay? And you can either break this up or do it all one word. I'm going to try breaking it up just to play with it to show you what you can do. And our first text is going to be this. I'm trapped on this island. Now, the thing here is the time. Which time is the subtitle supposed to be displayed in seconds relative to the beginning of the line? So I would put, let's see, we have the guy saying the island, okay? So I think it's going to be 1 second. So this should play at 1 second, okay? And then our next line of text, I believe, should be playing at possibly, we're going to say 2.5 seconds. Or actually, let's do 1.7 seconds. Should be our next line. Okay, and I'm going to guess the next line is going to be played at, let's just say 2 seconds. Okay, and we'll go ahead and we'll do this. So I'm going to take, I'm trapped on the island, and go back to our table here, and our text that's supposed to be spoken. Oops, sorry, I put my time in my text entry there. Bonehead. I am trapped on an island. Oops, hold on a second. Sorry, I meant to copy. I have no idea where I am. Okay, Snow has no idea where he is in the tutorial right now. Okay, so let's fix this. All right, delete that, hit that, fix that, put 1.7 seconds, actually, I'm going to do on that one. Okay, and you'll just have to play with this here to kind of get the timing sequence. If you really seriously want to make this work, I need to venture out and find the Pictish monkey god. Okay, so go back here. We're going to put our entry here. Oops, sorry, I put that in the wrong spot. Okay, and we're going to put this at, let's have this play at 2.5 seconds. You know, just guessing the timing of what needs to happen. Okay, and the sound. All right, so I got to make sure, we want to make sure that we assign the correct sound classes here on this entry to make sure it matches. So you just want to, okay, so right here, sound class needs to be voice, in-game voiceover. So let's see, voice underscore in-game. So voice underscore in-game. So we're going to type voice underscore in-game voiceover. Okay, so that way it picks that to play that through your speakers, or is able to be adjusted through the UI. So you have to make sure that stuff is signed up correctly. That way players don't have sound problems or issues. Okay, so most of that looks like it's done. And as you can tell, you can see on their example how it's all assigned, okay? So the Rasmus Journal is a very good way of trying to figure this out. All right, so now we go back to our lore book. I'm going to hit save on that because that's our generic lore book. Okay. Let me see. I want to make sure we're on the island. Go back to our content folder here. And then, our sound cue too. So really quickly, what I need to do before we forget to do the sound cue too, let's go search for the sound effect. Now, the source file is a WAV file here. So, oops, I don't want to do that. I want to try to figure out library. Okay, content, library, voiceover, miscellaneous, Rasmus Journal wave. Okay, so I'm just going to go here really quickly. We're going to type Rasma. Okay, and here's the combat voices. But let's look for her journal cue. Should be journal 1. Okay, so let's just go through here and look for the journal cues. Okay, so on the journal cue now, let's open that up. And what you want to make sure is over here, we want to make sure we do the exact same thing. We want to make sure that the sound class is assigned, and we can assign volumes and stuff like that. Okay, so we need to go back to our sound cue under our content browser and leave that one up. So you want to leave her cue up, so just in case if we forget, we know how to look at the assignment. So let's go back to our mod folder. Okay, and let's find our sound. All right, our journal cue. So over here, let's double check. See, notice it's empty and it doesn't have all the correct settings. So let's look at Erasmus cue. Okay, so we don't have an attenuation, so we don't need to worry about attenuation, but we need to worry about voice in-game voiceover. So let's do, again, let's type voice underscore in-game voiceover. We need to assign that to our journal entry. Okay. And on our sound multiplier, I like to make sure that I put this up by at least 1 on mine, because sometimes when you import sounds, they sound kind of low, but it might be a little loud, but just play with it. But I'm going to go ahead and bump mine up to 1, okay? And let me quickly make sure that I got everything else assigned in the entries. Everything looks good. Priority, let's make sure priority 1. Okay, so that looks good. So we can go ahead and close the sound cue, close the Rasmus cue. Okay, our journal book entry, let's leave that up. Let's close Rasmus. We don't need hers anymore. Okay, and then our journal entry on our lore table, all right, her number is 3006, but we don't want that. What we need to do is make sure I close the Conan table, but I need to copy this row name right here, which is our number. Okay, so we got to put our number on the Bratchen's lore table. We got to put that here. Okay, we got to make sure these match. Okay, so once we got that matching, all right, and we don't need the lore objects table entry. We don't need that anymore. We don't need the base game. So we got our lore entry. We got our item data table entry right here. So we highlight it. So we got that. This number matches our lore table number. So they talk to each other in the engine. Okay. And then our journal book generic, we're going to leave that because we want to make sure our sound effects are assigned correctly as well. So let's go ahead and let's copy our row number. So let's right click and we're going to hit copy. Okay. Now what we should do, okay, so here's the next step. So now we got all that stuff done. All right, so let me see, we're at 30 minutes. Good, we're doing pretty good on this video. So we got that. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to be able to create our object where our players can pick it up. So what we're gonna do is go back to our content folder. We're gonna go up here to content and we're gonna search for client, C-L-I-E-N-T, client, interactable client side, BP interactable client side. We're gonna pull that out and drag it onto the terrain or in game, so wherever we're going to do. And I'm just going to quickly make sure that I'm dragging it onto my gameplay level, okay, which is good. All right, awesome. And I'm going to go ahead and save that because I dragged it out. And what I'm going to do now, it says client, BP interactable client side up here on top. Now you can leave that name, okay, and what it's going to do is initially start naming, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to go ahead and right click and I'm going to move it to and create a new folder. All right, to organize it, and I'm going to call this journals. Sorry, I'm spelling journals wrong. Journals. Okay, and now it's in the journal folder, so that way I know where to find it. It's under journals. Okay, so that's quickly to find too. So we're organizing it. Okay, and it's also on a sub level, so I can find it on the sub level. All right, so now what I need to do is I need to make sure that we assign our Lord item ID, which was our row number that we had. Okay, we need to display interaction text. We need to be can you be used again. Okay, and then I'm going to quickly pull my Empire's Digimap up to make sure that way I have assigned everything here correctly. We're good there. All right, we don't need to assign any of this other stuff. However, if you want to play with and tinker with, these different elements or cause it to assign like an emote, because you can actually make the book assign emotes. You can actually assign emotes here. So if you want your players to get emotes, okay, so you can do that. All right, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and we'll go back to our Brach and Isles. And on our journal entry, I'm going to go ahead and let's give it an emote. So since we have no emotes on this map, let's go ahead and let's find an emote, something that's low level. We could say, let's do sit on the ground. Okay, so this is where our players are going to learn how to be able to sit on the ground and play the sit on the ground emote from here. Okay, so the emote to learn, sit on the ground, any feats, all that stuff. So you can do all that stuff here. Do not touch a display lore pop-up. If you do that, then the player cannot pick up the book. If I remember correctly, you won't be able to pick it up and put it into your thing. Does it trigger a journey event? You can sign that text here. Okay, if it's a journey event, Grimoire pickup, stuff like that. You can study those items in the Conan dev kit if you need to do more stuff like this. All right, so we got our lore item ID assigned, our display text, and can be used again. So that way, if you start over in your player and you start over, you'll be able to interact with this book. All right, so now we got to give it a book. All right, so right now we have nothing assigned. It's gonna there's nothing there. It's gonna appear in game. This little trigger box is the box that will pop up when the player overcrosses it and gives the interaction and allows you to pick it up. So what we need to do is, if you need to adjust that little box, you should be able to adjust the box extents. So what you can do is go to the box extent here. Okay, so this is how you adjust it. Don't stretch it like this using the transforms, bad idea. What you want to do is you want to go up inside to the blueprint interactable client side. You're going to go down here to your box extent and you're going to change the shapes and sizes right here. Okay, if you need to make them bigger, taller, smaller, etc., fatter, wider, etc. Okay, you can also change the shape color. So if you want a particular color to show up, you can also change the line thickness as well, but they did not make that option available through the blueprint here, it looks like. So we're kind of stuck with the color. So you can actually change the color of the box. Before it was yellow, I just changed it to red. So you can do whatever you want to make it so you can see it, easier for you. All right, so now back on our blueprint, and we're gonna go back to our static mesh. So in the static mesh, it's empty. So what we want to do is we need to assign it one. So let's type journal, and that should give us the generic in-game journal. You can do anything you want with this. You could put a statue if you wanted to, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the static mesh to center it as much as possible to here, so that's about right. Okay, and it usually defaults to 0. So now we should be able to pick up the whole blueprint and the book moves. Now if you need to adjust the book inside it, you just double click on the item and you can shift it away from the center of the blueprint and outside. But we don't want to do that, anything like that, because that's crazy. All right, so try to keep it within the box extents, because that's where you want your players to be able to pick up your item. All right, so now I should be able to drop this down on the ground here, and if I assigned everything correctly and I've done my tutorial correctly for you, I know it's a lot of information that I'm flooding you with a lot of information, but this will help you create a lore book with voiceover and etc. So let's go ahead and we're going to right click and we're going to hit play from here. And if I've done this right, we should be able to pick up the item. It should show up in our inventory and it should display some text. Okay, and play the sound file. Of course, our sound file, our text might be off on the play over, but you can adjust that because we left that sound cue up to adjust when the text is displayed as the cue plays. So let's go ahead and we'll load in here, and hopefully everything works like a charm, and this tutorial turns out really cool. And I don't have to redo it. No, just kidding. We'll fix anything if we have any problems. But it's a lot of information to remember. It can get overwhelming, so don't feel stupid. Sometimes just double check your steps to make sure that you've gotten everything assigned accordingly and correctly. So I haven't booted up this map since I rebuilt my computer, so it might take just a little bit here to load up as it's reading through everything here. So we'll just wait. All right, here we go. So there's our book, which is good. That's showing up there. Awesome. Compile our shaders. Let's let it load in. Okay. All right. Okay, there's our player. Okay, let's go ahead and hit escape. Admin panel. Let's go ahead and cloak ourselves because we do have a gator here. I'm going to go into God mode. Let's hit max health so I'm not dying. Turn off eating. Food, water. Okay, so here we are. Let's hit tab. So we have nothing in our inventory. All right, let's go ahead and let's walk to the book. We're gonna hit E. We learned a new emote, pick up and sit. And now what we should be able to do is in our inventory, oops, no, make sure it picks it up. Okay, why is it not picking it up? This is weird. You know what? This was weird. Let's take a look. Why are we buggy? Okay. I think, you know what? I think we can't assign an emote. So hold on a second. It might be what it is. Emotes have to be done separate if I remember right. So let me escape out. Well, let's change that real quick. So I probably screwed up. So let's go ahead and we're not going to do any emotes. So let's go ahead and zero that out. So none. All right. And let's try this again. Hopefully it doesn't screw us up here. Otherwise we have to kill our character. Because it records sometimes as a player. Once you've picked it up before, you the player can't pick it up again. Okay, good. It's there. All right, so let's see here. Okay, yeah, it's gonna be terrible. I can tell you. All right, let me see, tab. All right, now it's not working. You gotta love how this stuff works. All right. Okay, hold on. That's the fun about doing this stuff, I tell you. All right, so we got our lore book, can be used again, interaction, knowledge. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this and we're gonna redo it. So let's just delete it, save real quickly. All right, let's go ahead and get a client interactable again. Pull that down. All right, assign the blueprint. Do the same thing. Go to our static mesh. We're going to type journal real quickly here. All right, and I'm just going to leave it floating for now. All right, and then for our number, Okay, 1964-0001. And I'm going to quickly pull up my Stygia, Empire Stygia map just to make sure I did everything here correctly. Go here. I double check myself because, like I said, it's a lot to remember, and it can be overwhelming. I'm going to double check my lore objects table here. So this was book number 3 that I'm highlighted on now. Make sure in-game item. Okay, shipwrecked, icon, journal. All right, and then the item table, we should have shipwreck number 3. I want to double check, make sure I'm not missing anything. There's the, okay, so we need our journal entries, which I believe I have. Okay, so let me go back, double check, Let's go to our items table, our lore item table. We have our journal entry number 1. Let me just double check that, and I'm going to go ahead and put those entries there for the descriptions. Oh, and let's go ahead and change our sound cue too. I forgot to change our sound cue as well. Got ahead of myself. So we're going to do journal. Journal book 1 is our cue. All right, and the in-game item is correct. All right, and file, save. So everything should be set back up accordingly. So let's just make sure, oh, and display those, turn those on. All right, let's try this again. And hopefully it'll allow me to pick it up because, like I said, if it already records that you've touched the book, then I either have to kill my character or we're in trouble. And for some reason, it's not wanting to read us overlapping. Why the hell? Oh, dev kit. Before it worked, and now it doesn't want to work. Let's see here. Why is it doing that? Why is it not registering us popping up? Let me double check myself one more time. I've had issues with these client interactables before. I've had to delete them and redo them. So just to let you know, if you have issues, delete it, retry it. They can be quirky. I just want to make sure that I got all my entries correct. Interactable client side, the lore item number. Let me see here. Go back to our content folder. Let's go back to our data table folder here. Let's clear that. Let me look at the item table. I'm going to change the number on that. I'm going to add another 0. So I'm just going to add another 0, just in case it's recorded that we picked it up, and I want to be able to, override it so it thinks it's a new book. So just in case that's what's causing the problem, that's why. And it's leaving the visual, which it shouldn't do. The visual for us should be disappearing. So I'm going to go back to our lore table. Let's see, so how many zeros we got there? Item table, 4 zeros. So let's add another 0. Okay, so they should be talking. So item table is a game item, the island. Oh, you know what? It might be text sensitive too. I might have screwed that up. So let's just go here. Because in the engine, yeah. Okay, I forgot. So if we don't have the titles correctly, see if you notice on my screen, you see package, key, source, serialized text or localized text. That is actually recorded in these entries as well, see? So I need to make sure that these are identical for the name, but the short description, I don't think that matters. It's just the original one there, the main one has to match. So let's try that and see, and that should hopefully fix our problem. And then I've completed our tutorial. Otherwise, this would be embarrassing. We spend the next 15 minutes trying to fix this problem. All right, so look up here, and it still doesn't want to interact. Why do you not want to interact? Okay, why is you not interacting? All right, let's do this. Let's see, we got everything checked here. Oh, Snow, you forgot to put the number there. Good job, Snow. All right, let's try that again. Sorry, guys. got ahead of myself. You forget a step, double check all your steps. And of course, Snow forgot to check a step before I hit play. So hopefully now this should work. There we go. Press E to interact. So I'm hitting E, but of course it's being funny. And let's hit tab. Okay, so it's registering the interact. So now why it's not picking up, this is a problem I've run into before. So we got the interact to come back up. Let's see here. Let me make sure I am not missing any other steps. That's why I have the Empire Stigi up, just in case I might have missed a step. So we go, oh, Snow, you know what? You are missing a step, buddy, because you know why? I got ahead of myself. I just recalled. It just hit me. We have to make sure, too, that we're combining the data table on the mod controller. So, Snow, you bonehead. So remember to put your data table on your mod controller. All right, so let's go to our folder. Let's go to our mod controller. So we go to our preloader. Where is my folder? Duh, Snow. Silly ass me. So let's go to our preload, all right? And let's open that up. And what we need to do, Snow is the bonehead. We need to make sure that we do our tables. And we're going to need to do 2 of them. So we're going to have to do 2 of these controllers. Nodes, blueprint nodes. My bad. I feel like a bonehead. So type item table. Yeah, I get ahead of myself sometimes, you know. It's just, and then we want to make sure we take the item table from Barachin, or whatever yours is, and we want to make sure the table to be added. And we're going to do the item table first. It's always best practice to do the item table first and then do the lore table. That way it reads the item first, and then we get our lore objects table, and then we're going to get our table, our lore table that we created, which is my Barachin's lore table. So the Barachin lore's table is to be added to the base game table. Duh. All right. So it's funny that it allowed me to kind of interact, but it wasn't picking up because it doesn't know that the item exists. So it knows that the client interactable exists, but it didn't know that our item exists in our table. So now Snow, hopefully, has done this correctly, and embarrassingly, don't do those mistakes I did. So make sure you're methodical in your building of your items and your tables and lore books and etc. All right, so now our book is not going to show up, but hopefully it's in our inventory. No, it's not. So our book is not going to show because it thinks that we've already picked it up. All right, so, and it's not in our inventory because why? Because it didn't exist before. So now what I'm going to do is go back through here, and I'm going to subtract a 0. All right, and let's go ahead and subtract a 0 off our lore table. And let's save that. And now, hopefully, that should be all we need to do. And we need to make sure that we also, one other thing, we need to make sure on our client interactable, we get rid of one of those zeros. And now, hopefully, it sees it as a different item. All right, and it allows me to pick it up. So let's see if that works. Otherwise, I'll have to delete it, and we'll just do a different number. But this should work now, hopefully. Okay, and we're going to have to do a different number because it obviously does not want to play with me. So, all right, so let's hit Shift Escape. Let's go ahead and let's give it, we'll give it 02 here. Because the game database is saving it, so we're just going to create a 2 here. And let's do a 2 here. Now, hopefully, it will see it as a different item and allow us to see it and pick it up. So, hopefully, that will override and allow us to do this. Okay. So, yeah. Because I missed a step, I kind of bugged it. So, let's see if it'll work. There. I feel good now. Okay, E.
The island.
E.
I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Okay, so as you noticed, it said the island. So what we have to do, okay, and now we can't obviously fix that text now, because it's already going to say that you've already picked this thing up. So what I noticed, it was quick to play the first set of text. So he says the island is first. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 seconds. I'm going to do 2.7 seconds. Okay, and then 2.5 seconds this should display for. Okay, so I believe that could be our time, how long it should display. So let's just do that and kind of see what we're doing here. But that's how you do that. Okay, it's wonky, it's a little bit pain in the ass, but you can set it up to where it works out good. I've done it before. I've done it in I think it's the river boats. I've put a couple of journals down and I got the timing just right. Like I said, it's a little bit of screwing around and playing with it and getting the text to say. And usually you can do it with a sound file player. You can play the text and figure out a little bit of where the sound plays and etc. So now if we hit play again from here, we shouldn't be able to pick up the book. It should be gone already. Okay, and yep, it's gone, but it should be in our inventory, and it shows up as a piece of paper, and then right now it has nothing on it. Okay, so we can't even read, or if we hit more info, sorry, I'm stuck on this island. So sorry, they've changed a lot of this too, because you used to be able to read some stuff down here, but it's been a while for me. So more info, click that. I'm stuck on the island, close, and shift escape. So we have it, and then if I look, I'm stuck on the island, so you'll put your description here on the main item table. This lore book here, you don't have to put the other description if you don't want to. I'm just going to go ahead and put this on description 3. I mean, you can fill all these entries up if you want, but if I remember rightly, if we hit play here, what that does is it should show up and display inside your inventory on the UI. It usually does. It gives you like different things here, but okay, so the island journal entry 1, more info, journal entry 1, stuck on island. Yeah, so those other entries really don't do a whole lot, but I just fill them in anyways, just in case I might have missed something. That's up to you. You can kind of go from there. But that's it. I mean, seriously, this is how you do it. There's our item number, 1964-00002. Okay, and that's how you sound a sound cue to it. And I believe our emote would have worked. I think the emote would have worked because I screwed up. So what we can do is shift escape really quickly. We can trick this one more time. So let's go ahead and we'll put a 3 here, and then I'm going to put a 3 on here. And I'm just tricking the database. I mean, you can go into your game, into the editor, and try to delete the database and screw around, but I'm not going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to trick it for now. Okay, and let's sit here and and let's change our number here to 3. And so what should happen, like I said, we go in here one more time. We're just going to trick the database for now, and we should be able to play test this, and we should be able to hear it again, pick it up, hear the sound file play. Yep, there we are. So we're going to trick it. Here we go. Actually, nope, we're not, because I wanted to show you the emote. So it should be able to play and pick up the emote. So we're going to learn the emote of I think it was sit on the ground. So I think it'll allow us to get the emote as well and pick up the book. So since we actually have it fixed this time, so get ahead of myself. I'm trying to teach you guys and get ahead of myself. So, all right, and I'm trying to keep it under an hour. All right, so there it is.
The island. I am trapped on this island. I have no idea where I am. I need to adventure out and find the tribe of Pictish leaders who worship the monkey god.
Okay, so there was our voiceover. It was a little fast, obviously, so like I said, I got to get timing and stuff like that down. But we got our thing here, more info, and there it is. I'm stuck on the island. We learned the emote to sit, so we should be able to hit R, and we should be able to sit. And there we have it. So we learned our sit emote. So there you have it. So that's how you make a lore book and get around. So hopefully that answers a lot of questions. So let me go ahead and hit Shift Escape, and let me go ahead and go back over to my video. So everybody, sorry about that. I got ahead of myself a little bit and kind of trying to get through this, so I keep it under an hour because we're at 55 minutes. But that's how you do a lore book. And this is also how you can kind of create custom items, but there's more to it. I'll do a custom item tutorial a little bit later. But for now, I don't want to... I'm trying to push videos out, and I do apologize. It's been a while to get some videos out because of the holidays. I had the holidays, and then I rolled into cancer treatment, and I just recovered. So I had one small little video I recorded in between that I pushed out, and that was for the sky. But just bear with me. I'm trying to get back on track and do my daily, my other everyday streaming, or sometimes daily streaming. But I do appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much, everybody who's signed up and who's supporting on these tutorials. I do appreciate it. And I will be releasing the first 5 on my YouTube video channel to help some of the other folks out there who needs help in doing custom maps and things like that. But because of all you subscribers and you're supporting the channel, I do appreciate it. And you know, if you can tell your friends, or if they want to learn modding and you believe that I'm a great teacher and they can learn modding from me and mod the Conan game, that'd be great, because believe it or not, modders are the best thing right now to keep the Conan content in the community and create just more new neat things and things like that. So I really do appreciate your guys' support. It's amazing. So thank you. I will try to do the next tutorial will be custom item. It'll probably be another hour tutorial because it's a little bit complex, a little bit more in-depth stuff that we have to mess with, and I have to refresh my brain about creating custom items and making it so where you can actually place the item, because when you create a custom item, I'm not going to create one that you craft on a bench. I'm going to just create one that you can actually create the item and have it drop from like a treasure chest or an NPC. I don't want to get involved in the crafting benches. If you want to do that, that's up to you. But it's just way too much stuff, and I'm trying to teach some basic modding stuff. That way, everybody can grasp the concept, and then they can start dabbling into the deeper parts of modding, you know, having crafting benches, create items, and etc. Because there's a lot involved with that. It's a lot more background work, and I honestly hate touching that stuff, because when Funcom changes it, it breaks a lot of stuff in your mods, you know, and then you have to go back through and figure out what they changed, and it's something I don't want to deal with. So I just keep it very simple, stupid. KISS, I like to call it. Keep it simple, stupid. And we'll just make it to where it drops from treasure chest or NPCs. And that's what I did in the river boats. It's much simpler. It's kind of fun that way too, because you get random stuff, and then you can just dump and destroy the item, and you don't have to worry about anything, or Funcom breaking it for that matter. So, okay, without further ado, thank you very much once again, guys, for all your support. I really appreciate it. And like I said, hopefully in the next tutorial I get some time to record that. It will be how to create a custom item and have it drop from a chest or an NPC. So thank you very much. Have a good day, good night where you're at, and stay frosty and stay sharp. See you next time, guys. Bye, everybody.